love video games. I love video games. Thank goodness I don't have to worry about people, you know, possibly taking advantage of me and scamming me out of something that I buy on the internet. You know, people are so trustworthy. Or do I? What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Mighty Albert, and we have another important video for you guys again on the Mighty Albert channel. But I got a couple of things I want to show you because I've been reading online. A lot of people have been getting scammed from places like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and eBay. And to tell you the truth, back in the day, I got scammed by one of these internet websites too. And to help you guys stay safe this holiday, I want to give you my experience with the scam that happened to me and give you guys some pointers on what to look out for when you're buying gifts for people online, especially stuff like the PS5, Nintendo products, especially the Nintendo products are counterfeited all the time. I don't even know if counterfeited is a real word, but it is now. But I'm going to show you guys just what I'm talking about, and this is important. So right away, guys, I just want to really explain to you why this even happens. So you got things like the Zelda and the Mario Game & Watch. Now, right now, they might not be completely hard to find right now. They eventually will be. And I want to show you an example of what wasn't hard to find back in the day, arguably, and now is hard to find. You got these guys right here. Do any of you guys remember these? You know, you could hook them up to your HD TV. They have about 25 games on them, all the good classic games, and they're these small miniature. They're just really freaking cool. I mean, this one right here has 30 games. This one, I don't know how many of this, but anyway, these things are actually counterfeited. And how can you really tell? Well, this one in particular went so fast, you couldn't really even find it in the stores anymore. This one, after they made the second wave of these, they were, you know, not that hard to find, but still, you don't see them anymore. Now, there's something that these pirators or these, you know, these counterfeiters that they do to these boxes. Now, I wish I had a better camera so I could just show you exactly like what I'm going to be talking about. But this is a genuine Nest system. I'll open it up and I'll just show you. Matter of fact, I haven't opened this up in like a long time. But I love, oh my God, it's so awesome. So like, look, it's the Super Nintendo. And it's this little guy here, and it's like genuine. It's got the reset button. It's got the on and off. And obviously you can't put any tapes in here, but you know, it's got these really, really cool spots for the controllers. Oh, it's so cool. And you know, they come with two controllers. Now, the first thing that you could do to tell if you're gonna go and buy one of these, let me tell you something. These released at 80 bucks. Used now, you could probably, I'm just going to say used, they're probably selling for MSRP, what they released for. New in the box, I don't even know, to be quite honest. I'll put a little picture right here so you guys can see what they're going for now, used and new. But let me tell you something. These are actually very highly counterfeited. And how can you tell? Well, one, the price is going to be too good to be true. Secondly, I'm going to give you an example. This box, I have a box right here. A game box of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, this box, hello everybody. This box right here is actually a dupe. And how can you tell? Well, when you look at a box, or when you even look at a game cartridge for that matter, if it's fake, you're gonna notice, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up good enough, but do you see the Zelda? See the actual red Zelda? See how it's kind of mushed? Mostly the ELD. It looks kind of smudged. It's not like as in much detail. And it looks kind of, in person, the box looks washed out. It's not as sharp. The fonts right here where it says Rumble Pack and One Player, if you can kind of, it's not really that clear, but it's very faded and it's not detailed at all. And that's how you can tell on these things. Even in the back, the literature, yeah, it looks good. But I'm talking about, you got to really like key in on like this stuff right here, like this red font right here, like the really tiny little letters. That's how you can tell if a game box is fake. And usually if the box is fake, the system is fake. And yes, someone can 3D print an NES Classic or a Super Nintendo Classic, or hell, I'm sure in the future people will 3D print little models of these little Game & Watches and counterfeit a box and send it all off, and oh, I finally got one. I wasn't able to get one at launch, but it's happening, and it's happening a lot. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna go to a tabletop view, and I'm gonna open up some of my favorite games, because these games, and even some Super Nintendo games, and we'll take a look at those too, they get counterfeit a lot too, because what you don't get is the retro market, ever since COVID happened, skyrocketed. And every one of these games that used to cost retro collectors 5, 10, even 25, 30 bucks are triple or quadruple the price. So wasting no time, guys, I'm gonna show you some of my games that I love. These are my favorite games. These are probably some of my most valued games. This one's like $100 on eBay. This is the rarest Mario Party out of the 3 for the Nintendo 64. This game isn't really rare or uncommon. It's still a little pricey, but it's actually just one of my favorite. And this guy is the collector's edition. But not only is it the collector's edition of Ocarina of Time, this game, fun fact about this game, it was released 2 or 3 times. So this was the first out of all the releases. And I know that because there's a light stamp right here that says version 1.0. And the reason why this is such a special cart is that when you're Adult Link, there's a track in here on the Fire Temple. And it actually had Islamic chanting in it. And that was a big no-no under Nintendo's policy, that they didn't want to put anything religious into their games. There was also a Islamic moon on some of the blocks and the mirror shield. So they went and released these because they had already printed, I think, a couple million of these. And they went ahead and they took all that out and replaced it with other files. So that's another way you can tell, in particular, especially with Ocarina of Time, if it's a genuine copy, if it has like a stamp right here on the back label. But there's a lot more that we can do to find out. What I have here is a copy of Army Man Sarge's Hero. This isn't a super wicked rare game or anything like that, but I want to show you for education purposes on when you're buying retro games, especially for the Nintendo 64, what you can do to spot if it's fake. Now, a big red flag is if you're talking to someone on Facebook Marketplace or even on eBay, if they don't want to provide pictures of the inside of these things, it's 100% fake. You don't even have to question it. Or if they're not willing to give you any pictures or allow you to even bring a screwdriver with the bit to open it up in person before you buy it, it's fake. Don't even bother with it. Now, there are things you can look at before you open it to make sure it's real. If you're buying it from like a retro game store, or if you're buying it from like a retro game chain like Game Exchange, you can look at the tape or the cartridge part, the actual card, and if this little chip area isn't like a brown or a gold, and if it's like a white, that usually means that it's a fake board. Also imprinted and stamped inside. Like if I had a better camera, you could see it. There's like a serial number that's imprinted on the plastic. The eye on Nintendo right there, if it's a circle, that means it's fake also, but this one is a little square. So that's how you know it's genuine. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this guy up. All right, so what you do when you open these up, once you get the screws off, there's like these little latches right here. So just be careful not to break it. Just kind of like fold it open and then just push out. You see? So like you got to unlatch it. So now this is just the plastic. You can see if there's some serial numbers here. That's how you know it's a genuine back. And then there's some serial numbers here on the plastic, but all that is very easy to fake too. But, you know, you just want to look out for every little thing, right? You want to make sure you're getting a 100% genuine game. But also, this is the most important, and I think this is the thing that is the most hardest to fake as well. So you got take your Phillips head. Right here is when they decided to use normal screws for, you know, the assembly of their game. Take the heat sink off, just slide it off. Just once you get the screw off, there it goes. But now here's the actual chip of the game. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just take it out. This is your game. This is it. This is your game. And when you look at the game chip, when you look at the board, you'll notice that right here on the top on the actual board it says Nintendo, and the year is 100% sign that your game is 100% genuine. It has Nintendo on here. If you read the capacitors, and that's how you know that they're genuine. And if someone's not willing to open it up and show you that, then guess what? It's a fake game. So right here I have some of the most popular games and some of the most expensive games for the Game Boy Advance. These two next to all the Pokemon ones, forget about it. Those ones are ridiculously expensive. And I have a very sought after game for the Super Nintendo, not the most expensive by far, but still nonetheless very desirable, and it's still highly counterfeited. But with the Game Boy Advance in particular, I always recommend you open these. So I'm going to open these up for you just so you can see what to look for. Okay guys, and just like that with some poor editing, we're right here with them open. Now, I bet I know what you might be thinking. It's like, oh my goodness, Link to the Past, it must be fake. There's no Nintendo on it. And you would be right, but yep, there's Nintendo. This is a 100% genuine chip. You got the Nintendo right there, the 1990, and all these capacitors and stuff like that. It says Japan, and it's still got Nintendo on it. It's got the battery for the memory. Everything looks 100% genuine. Look at that. Isn't it pretty though? Isn't it? This is the golden age of gaming, not these fancy schmancy discs and downloadable content. So when you're looking at your Game Boy Advance games, you pop these bad boys open. Now, of course, you'll see the Nintendo. Always if you see Nintendo on the motherboard or on the game card or whatever, it's always a sure sign that they're genuine. Now, I know what you're saying. You're looking at the difference between the Minish Cap and Metroid Fusion. Now, towards the end, for whatever reason of the life cycle of the Game Boy Advance, or some of the games, even Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire have like these little backup batteries or these little memory batteries in the game on the motherboard. So it's totally not uncommon to see these. Like I said, you just want to really check the Nintendo and even just look at all the capacitors and just kind of make sure. And like I would always get a picture of a board from online of a genuine, you know, copy of the game, because these knockoffs are getting very, very, very good, and it's becoming very hard to detect whether or not you have a genuine or a bootleg one in front of you. But you always should open up a Game Boy Advance one. I would almost go as far as to say, of if you're gonna buy a new gen console, or if you're gonna buy sometimes these very expensive Nintendo 64 games or vintage games for that matter, I would always scrutinize your buyer or seller. And if they're open with you and they're willing to send you pictures and meet at a public place and tell them you're gonna bring like one of those money markers, and if they're still cool with that and they got nothing to hide, go for it. But these are the things you need to watch out for. I would even go as far as to say is be careful on eBay, because just because a user has a high rating on eBay or any of those websites that sell stuff online that you can give a rating, you should read those ratings. And if they're all close up together and they all have 5-star ratings and they're not very descriptive or they're very vague, guess what? They're probably fake ratings, guys. Yeah, you can do that. eBay cracks down on it a little bit, but you can fake good ratings online. It's not that hard, guys. You really just need to just make sure that you are certain, and don't let the fact of desperation get to you. That's gonna do it for this week's video, guys. This one was kind of quick and kind of straightforward and to the point, but I think you get the idea. I just want you guys to be safe out there this holiday, and I don't want you guys to end up with a bootleg game or no game at all or no graphics card or no new tech, because guys, unfortunately, in this time that we are living, the game community and the tech industry in a whole is just under so much fire because there is just not enough supply to meet demand, and it's just that simple. And when there is desperation, someone is always going to be there to take advantage of you. Anyway, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Yes, it still works. Even though you can't see it, I can still see it, and it means a lot to me if you hit either or button and give me some feedback. Drop a comment down below and subscribe, and just stay a while, man, because it just keeps getting better from here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.